Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to this next episode of FPL Family with me, Lee, and this is Sam. Been a hot minute since we've been here, right? And done a full, proper, bona fide live stream, because not only have we had an international break, but obviously a couple of weeks ago, people are already asking in the chat, Sam, are you all right tonight? This is the first question people would like to know is, are you okay?
Well, this time 2 weeks ago, I was all right. It's just, I got halfway through and was like...
People wanted to know, was it the Dewsbury Hall benching back then? Was it? I mean, it was a difficult week. People were wondering whether you just was faking the being sick to get out the live stream. I'm just saying that was.
Would you
that
like
was
to
mooted.
tell everybody what?
You were definitely not faking it. You were definitely not faking it.
Honestly,
you were quite unwell.
In my life, never been that sick.
and
I've
very unwell.
And I've been pregnant twice and had morning sickness, and I've never been that sick.
And I'll tell you what, guys, honestly, and you did so well not to genuinely be ill like on stream, because that'd have been memed left. Right,
the rest of my life.
Shocker. It was a shocker. But no, you are well. You are better now. So this is...
I'm fine now.
A couple of weeks on, so we're all good.
No, I'm fine now. I was fine about 12 hours later, but it did genuinely last for about 12 hours.
It was bad. Yes, it was
terrible.
Bad. It was bad.
It was terrible.
936,000 wildcards, Sam. 245.6k free hits. So a lot of chips being thrown around in game week 4 this week in FPL. Lots and lots of chips. And I think generally speaking, I mean, get in the chat, guys. Let us know how you got. And if you played a chip, if you were wildcarding or you were free hitting, I want to know how you got on in the chat. We'll read some out. I think generally it was pretty good for those that played a chip, right? Pretty good, I think.
I would have thought so. Yeah, wildcards and free hits.
There would have been a lot of going in heavy on Liverpool attack, though, which probably didn't work out. There'd have been a lot of Arsenal, probably, on free hits.
Well, that would have worked.
Which would have worked. There would have been a lot of taken out of Aston Villa, maybe. I don't know. Generally feels like...
I think the chips generally were quite good.
It was a pretty good week to play a chip.
That wouldn't have been very successful, I doubt, because there was a lot of... there was quite a few just people that didn't show up.
Yeah.
Or didn't start unexpectedly this week.
Agreed. Simon MK is in. He said, wildcard into 74 points. Not bad at all, mate. Not bad.
Decent.
Kenan Lightbender's in 75 points. Pretty good. George is in. Hey, George, a free hit chip used by me. 78 after his Zoom call with you. So he says, thank you, Sam. 78. Nice score this week, George. Yeah, here we go. S-Jam, 110 points on wildcard this week. Very, very nice indeed. 110 points, by the way.
It's decent.
I mean, that's got to be Haaland captaincy, as well as like Semenyo and Van der Ven and all sorts, right? That is getting your wild card absolutely right. Absolutely right. What else we got? We've got 63 from Keith. Walter, hey Walter, wild carded into 93 points. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Jack Benhamden, he says 56 points for me with no chips. And you know what, Jack? I don't think that's bad. There will be a lot of teams, obviously there's whatever I just said, nearly 1 million wild cards and 250,000 free hits. So a lot of chips being played, but, neither of us played a chip.
No.
A lot of you will have not played a chip. It went okay. I mean, we'll talk about our game weeks obviously a bit later on in the scores, but in a week where there was that many chips being played, it always felt to me like it was going to be a little bit of damage limitation. And I think the damage was limited to a degree. Although Mr. Haaland had something to say about changing my arrow from green to red, but we'll talk about that a bit later on. Who else we got? We've got Gordon Smith, 86 points. Very nice, Gordon. Very nice indeed. Johnny Cairns is in. He says 82 points. Wildcard into 82. Very nice. Very, very good indeed. Bryn Roberts is in. Last 2 weeks, he had 53 points on the bench. What a stinker.
On the bench?
Yeah, what a stinker. What else? Eze differential saved my week. Yeah, listen, guys, there is loads to discuss, as usual, from Game Week 4, and it still certainly feels to me like we're getting the hang of this, right? I still feel like I'm learning every week. There's lots of things going on. Some patterns starting to emerge, although perhaps not patterns that we were expecting in pre-season. I don't know. But current rank for me, 2.3k, down from about 1.7, I think I was before the game week. I'm sort of okay with it. I'm sort of okay. In a week where there was that many chips, I'm sort of okay. And a small green for you as well, up to 8.3.
Whoa. That's a 400k green arrow.
Is it? Okay.
So let's not call that small. That's not insignificant.
It's not insignificant,
400k?
no. It's not. Very good.
That's a chunk.
Okay, good. All right, yes.
I'm happy.
Up to 8.3.
For a change.
You take it.
I'm very happy. The arrow was green.
Good.
Good grief.
Oh, good. All right.
Makes a change.
Well, we'll talk about our teams for next week as well, what we're thinking for Game Week 5. Any thoughts on chips for you ahead of Game Week 5? Early thoughts of chips?
No 5 chips.
I'm thinking about it.
What?
I'm thinking about a wild card next week. It'll be either 5 or 6.
No.
It's the Arsenal and City game next week puts me off. I have to say, it puts me off. But game week 6, definitely eyeing up a wild card for that.
I'm 100% wild card in 6. I've been saying that for a couple of
weeks now. Eyeing up because, and we're already getting deep into chip strategy here, guys. But I was thinking, Haaland is looking like a bit of a must-have, isn't it? He's looking
hard to get Haaland,
it's not, I don't think. But I was thinking about, how do I get in for captaincy in game week 6 against Burnley at home? Now, listen, Burnley have proved to be fairly resolute against Liverpool. We'll talk about that later on. So I'm thinking I'll free hit him in game week 6. But actually, now I might want him after game week 6 because the fixtures look pretty good. So I think I'll probably want him now.
The only negative I see of a wild card in 6 is the lack of a triple captaincy on Haaland in 6. However...
There's loads of places you can play TC. That's
and
no
what
problem,
I will say is that in seasons gone by, we have gone, right, the 3 newly promoted sides at home, there's your triple captain weeks. I don't feel like it's that this year so far.
They've been good, the 3 promoted teams.
Correct.
Very good.
I don't feel like Burnley at home, Sunderland at home, Leeds at home is a given for the triple captain. I think West Ham at home, Wolves at home, like those teams feel like more of an opportunity potentially to use the triple captaincy. So that was the one thing that was putting me off the wild card into 6. Having watched your lot play against Burnley today, having watched Sunderland and Leeds across the course of the weekend do well defensively, I'm less bothered about not being able to triple captain Haaland in 6 now.
They all 3 of them look reasonably good. And do you know what? I think that would be a bit of a breath of fresh air for the Premier League because we've in previous seasons seen those that come up go straight back down. There's been lots of yo-yo clubs, right? So I, for one, would be fully on board with 3 different teams going down. And the way it's going so far, there could be some fairly established Premier League teams going down. We shall wait and see.
Hopefully, it won't be either of ours. We've started quite well.
I think we'll be all right, Sam. I think we'll be all right, Spurs and Liverpool.
It's nice
Villa
to
fans,
not be down in 17th, I tell you.
Villa fans, I want to know how you feel. That is now no goals in 4. That's the first time in their history, by the way.
Also, they are the only side in the top 7 leagues not to have yet scored a goal.
God, what, in the whole of the English Football League?
Yeah.
God, bloody hell.
The only team.
And they're not even looking like it.
Don't look like scoring. Ollie Watkins had 0 shots.
He had 1 touch in the box, I noticed.
Yeah, 0 shots.
All over the shop, aren't they?
That is appalling for your
All
striker.
over the shop.
Given the form in pre-season as well, Lee.
Mad, isn't it?
He's
Mad.
spent all summer
That's why we've all got
form
him. 5 goals in pre-season or whatever it was. That's crazy. Now he's a problem. Now he's a big problem. Let's read out a couple of super chats, Sam. One from Joseph Maloney. Hello, Joseph. Nice to see you, mate. Hi, Sam. A small green after a -4 this week. No chips played, mate. No chips and a green. You cannot complain with that. That's all right. Lovely to chat this week, Sam. Salah doing Salah things. Joseph, we will discuss Mo Salah because... Man alive, I've still not had this season a captaincy return before the 91st minute. I've had 4 captaincies and they've all got me the points after
the final whistle should have gone.
But after the 90-odd minute
mark. A couple
of
them have been after the final whistle should have gone.
I had the Bruno jammy pen, didn't I? I've got the Salah jammy pen. I've had the other things in the last minute. Absolutely, Salah of game week 1, wasn't it? At Fest, it was mad. Absolutely, it's been. I think I'm lucky to be 2.3. I'll be honest, lucky to be 2.3. What with the Juve thing last week as well.
Oh my God, don't talk to me about the Juve.
I feel quite lucky to be 2.3. But some things, there have been some decisions that have gone my way anyway. But we'll discuss those a bit later on. Nigel the Crab, thank you very much, Simon, for the member chat. Simon has been a member here now for 42 months. Thank you for your support, mate. Appreciate it. 595k, Sam. Not to be sniffed at. He says, I'm not great with heights. He's not bad. Wildcard smashed it. Haaland, Salah, double Arsenal defence, Mickey van der Ven, Bosch. Glad to see you well, Sam. Simon, do you know what? I think that for sure, anyone that played the wildcard this week and played it well in the way that you did will have done very well. It was a good week to wildcard.
Little shout out to Si and George. Good luck next week, boys. They're doing the Shine walk. Si, I've been watching the weather forecast. It is looking... I'm going to touch some wood. Touch this table. It's looking all right because last year really weren't all right, was it, Si? We got absolutely soaked. So good luck to you both.
Good luck, boys.
I know you'll both smash it.
Good luck, boys. And another super chat from Malachi Fox. Thank you, Malachi, right at the start of the show. Hi, Sam and Lee. Hope you're both well. Got 113 points, Sam. Triple captain Salah. So I tell you what,
Triple, you were. I tell you what,
Malachi, that was... That was close to being a fail. And up to 90k overall. Very, very good indeed. Very,
I bet
very
you
good
were
indeed.
on the seat of your chair when they were giving that pen.
Oh, good Lord.
And then imagine having the stress. It was stressful enough having him as captain, watching him take that pen.
Well, I'll tell you what, I in that moment, I wasn't really thinking about FPL because I was just so frustrated with that game. Maybe we'll do them first. But
I was
so frustrated with that game. And I was just thinking, we just got to get this, somehow smash and grab this 3 points and get out of there. Which is exactly what it was at the end. I mean, we'll talk about the game, right? But when I look back on it, I just thought, imagine Dubravka saves that pen.
No, I know.
That's like a 20-point swing in FPL.
And he's on
Mad,
everyone's bench.
And no one's played him because he's benched by a lot of people. Yeah. We've all played. I played Sells, or a lot of people have played their other goalkeeper, and a lot of people captain Salah. Imagine he saved Salah's pen. That would have been absolutely meltdown, wouldn't it? Meltdown. Let's see. Daniel Banks with the super chat. Thank you, Daniel, for the super chat. Important. Here we go, Sam. You like this one? Important Stratford Station news. They've taken down the TNT Van der Ven poster and replaced it with a Kane Sketches advert. Is this an upgrade, Sam? Yes or no?
Absolutely not.
Daniel, we don't need news like that, Daniel.
Daniel, did West Ham fans did they... I bet them West Ham fans, I bet they graffitied on it or something that to change it.
Who knows?
It's outrageous.
Who knows?
Who can I complain to?
I don't know. Phone up the TNT people. I don't know.
Phone them up.
I don't know. Right, Sam, let's get into these games. Nice to see you all. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, all that sort of stuff.
Airtime.
All that sort of stuff.
Look.
Give Mickey Van der Ven.
Give him the
a bit of
airtime.
airtime. Do we need to get George's picture out?
Yeah.
We probably do. Here we go.
No, we keep this until the game.
Well, do you want to do that first?
Here we go. George.
Where am I going? I'm going transparent. Here we go.
We'll talk about Liverpool first, no?
Yeah, well, we'll do that later. It's more importantly, Spurs winning at West Ham. Now, not for a minute am I suggesting that West Ham are really good in this game, but Spurs very, very impressive indeed. Very impressive indeed, except for a bit of a fright from Jarrod Bowen early on. And do you know what? West Ham actually, say it quietly, started kind of okay.
Well, no, they should have been one down. Because we had this goal ruled out. There's nothing wrong with that goal.
Well, even before that, I'm thinking, that was early, but even before that, West Ham, and when I say West Ham started, well, I mean...
They didn't concede for 5 minutes.
I mean 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. They played okay for 10 minutes. I'm not saying they were good, just say played okay for 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you 10. Then we had that malarkey, right? And in a game where you've won 3-0, no one's going to talk about that. But if you've drawn that game 0-0 and that gets chalked off, it's another refereeing howler.
Mickey van der Ven,
absolute stinker from the refs again.
Mickey van der Ven is assaulted. He falls into Kyle Walker-Peters, who then falls into Romero, and somehow it's chalked off. I have no idea how it can be a foul on us on them. I have no idea. I
said it in the Slack during the game. I might have been later on in the weekend. I said the only thing that refs are good for. I like ref cam. Ref cam's good. The way that it got a good angle of the Zubamendi goal at the weekend, the way it got Szoboszlai's last weekend, ref cam is good. That's it. There's no other redeeming features of the referees in this country. Ref cam. You might as well strap a camera to me and I'll just walk around trying to get a good angle. It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. That goal is complete. It absolutely is a goal.
Van der Ven is assaulted again a little bit later on, and it could have easily been a penalty, and apparently it was nothing. Just allow it. I mean, actually, if anyone ever lays hands on Mickey again, they'll have me to handle. But we played really well, and
go on.
I think the most fun part of this game was watching the way the defender points were going in this game, because Pedro Porro.
Not for me.
No, but this is kind of the point, isn't it? Because Pedro Porro has been.
If you put that there, I'm going to elbow him down the back of the sofa again. That's a bad place to put the Mickey van der Ven picture.
I want him there because.
But you know what'll happen. I will do it.
But look how perfect he looks sat there.
Well, but I like putting my elbow there.
Well, keep your elbows to yourself.
Oh, I'll have to kind of change my angle a little bit.
Well, that's fine. I'd rather you be uncomfortable than Mickey.
Picture. Oh my God.
I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah,
defender points. So, go on.
Because earlier on in the season and in pre-season, I was saying I don't really see the value in the extra for Porro. And over the opening 3 weeks or so, I was like, well, he is taking the free kicks and he is taking corners, and if he starts converting them, then maybe there's a value there.
But he ain't taking them now.
But now he's not taking them, because Xavi comes in and he immediately starts taking all of the set pieces. I thought they might share, but no, he's taking everything down that side. Kudus is taking everything down the other side.
Good debut, by the way.
Very
good
good
debut,
debut.
Xavi. I liked it. Very good. Very good. He'll have harder games, don't get me wrong, but as debuts go, he couldn't have asked for too much more.
It was very good. But I think now I go back to, I do not see, and I appreciate that Mickey van der Ven, God love him, isn't going to score a goal every week. He's not going to pop up there and score a goal every week.
So I'm going to challenge you on that a little bit, because I was noticing from the set pieces, he loiters, Van der Ven. Do you notice? Like when Xavi hits those corners, and I thought Spurs, for sure, and we know this from the Brentford days, Thomas Frank is a potent weapon for him, right? It's only a matter of time before you start doing long throws, right? It's going to happen.
Can only do them when Danso's on the pitch.
It's becoming more and more of a thing, this long throw. Just in the general narrative of the Premier League, I'm noticing it more and more, right? They had talked about that match today.
Rory Delap would be in his element now.
He would, 100%. But the Spurs corners, there's method to the madness now. Under Ange, it was just like, well, we'll just put it in and see what happens. But with Thomas Frank, there's actually a plan now. Yeah. And now the quality of the delivery is better. I'm not saying Porro took a bad corner, but Xavi Simons' delivery is great, right? You could see it already in game one. He's good.
And Kudus is good on the other side.
And Kudus is fine on the other side, correct. But you always try and hit the big man, right? So Romero, always a key target. Yep. Always going to be. Probably your best header of a ball, right? Although I will give some props to Bergvall, because unbelievable header, by the way.
Oh, what a goal.
But notice Van der Ven on corners. He just loiters. So when you say you don't see him getting many goals, he'll get a few this season because he's just always there. I
don't think I said I didn't see him getting many goals. I said I don't think he won't score every week. Like, he's not going to be every week popping up with a goal.
Yeah, sure.
But I think as far as the defenders go, I would expect Romero to still outscore Van der Ven this season in terms of goals scored.
It was particularly bad defending for the Van der Ven goal, though, I have to say. Like the way that they all who is it? Kilman and Bowen both back off and just leave him. There's if you get a still of him when Van der Ven strikes that ball, there's 8 West Ham defenders in the box. Not one of them near the penalty spot where Van der Ven is. It is shocking defending.
But I think in the build-up to this, got literally 10 seconds before, you said, what did you... I can't even remember. I put it in the Slack yesterday, but you said something like, oh, I know what you said. You said, I'm not sure I see the value in having Porro anymore over Van der Ven.
In FPL? No, I don't see it now.
And then Van der Ven immediately popped it in the back of the net, and it was comedy genius timing.
Well, do you? I mean, if you were...
Well, I haven't all season, and I definitely don't now, because I think what we're seeing is... Van der Ven was also top of the defenders for... He didn't get them, but he was the defender with the most defensive contributions in that Spurs team.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't expect him to get them because West Ham didn't do a lot of attacking, which means in turn that you're not going to get a lot of defensive points. He's not defending a lot, yeah. But he was the one that got the most of all of our defenders. And he is, like you say, he's loitering at the edge of the box, inside the box. Inside the box on set pieces, he often finds himself loitering on the edge of a box when we've just gone forward in attack. So at 4.5, I don't think he's taken a price rise. I still think...
He's full 6 now, Van der Ven, yeah. Because obviously I'm looking at it, aren't I? I'm looking at Porro Van der Ven,
well, I still think he is by far our best defensive option in the game. From a Spurs perspective, that is, because he offers just incredible value for money. And all right, if you want to spend an extra 0.5 on Romero, then that's fine. But I can't get on board with the Porro thing. All
right, let's talk about these midfielders then, because one of the things I said in pre-season, God love him, one of the things that Ange, was kind of forced to do last season because of the amount of injuries, and it's kind of... he's gone into Forest and has already got injuries, isn't it? It's the Ange effect, isn't it? But it was so many Spurs injuries last season, if you think back to last season. One of the things he had to do was he had to bring through Bergvall. He had to bring through Pape Sarr. He had to bring a lot of young players through, like Archie Gray and Mikey Moore and players like that. I remember saying to you in pre-season, or even towards the end of last season, Premier League experience and minutes for those young players at their age will pay dividends, but not for Ange, for whoever comes in next season. And I tell you what, Pape Sarr has been nothing but stellar. I think he's having a fantastic start to the season. He couldn't believe his luck with that header, by the way. No one's marking him.
Well, apparently, I'm just reading a comment from him. He was before the game, he celebrated in a weird way for him, and it was a tribute to the set piece coach who went up to him at half time and said, "No one is marking you. coasting at the back post, and you'll get a header. What was it? A few minutes in, he immediately does it. So
he couldn't
was a
believe
plan.
his luck. He's not even tall. He was just there.
No.
He just went donk.
He was
Cheers.
told to be there by the set piece coach because no one was picking him up, and there it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting. I think what you said then is really good because I was actually a bit unsure as to what would happen when Xavi came in. Like, who is the player that misses out? I think if you're a Richarlison owner this week, you're a little bit unlucky. I think he only gets to start because Tell's not in the Champions League squad. So I think we might see that a little bit more often ahead of a Champions League fixture. We might see Tell get the start in the Premier League. Obviously, Xavi then played on the left in place of Brennan. So that meant Pap can stay. And that tells you everything you need to know about how important Pap Sarr has been in these opening few weeks of the season, that it's not Pap in the 10 that's sacrificed. It's Brennan instead.
He moved players around to accommodate Sarr, basically.
He kept him there.
Yeah.
So he's still offering great value for money if you still need a cheap player.
And I love Bergvall as well. I think he's just a top player. When you look at him, he's obviously grown in stature over the summer as well. He's got on the weights a little bit. He just looks great, and the header was just phenomenal. But not many FPL managers have got these guys yet. Maybe they'll feature for us, but Kudus is quite highly owned, and you've got him as well. George is saying in the chat, Sam, what do I do about Kudus? Is he a hold or a sell now? And if you look at the Spurs fixtures, if I quickly flick to that, you guys are right up there, okay? So Brighton away next in Gameweek 5, then it's Wolves at home, Leeds away, Villa at home, Everton away. So, I don't know, away at Brighton, the way they've started looks tricky. Going to the Hilly Dick in 9 looks difficult. But Wolves, Leeds and Villa in 6, 7, 8 looks great, doesn't it? And Kudus owners will want to hold, I think.
I'm really torn on the Kudus thing because I still maintain that I think he is probably the safest bet. Because like I said, I think Richarlison's going to get some rotated minutes with Tell around the Champions League. Pap Sarr's clearly important enough that it's going to be Brennan and that seems to be missing out for Xavi. Kudus is safe on that side, pretty much it seems. Now, I am looking at the Kudus thing and thinking, I feel like I was a little bit unlucky in this one. There were a number of moments in this one where Kudus probably could and should have got something out of it. However,
Wayne is saying there in the chat, he's got no end product. I agree with that. If you look at his XGI, he's just not involved enough. And he only really started getting into dangerous areas and having a shot at the back end of the West Ham game after the Souček red card, where he's like, you know, we're 3-0 up. This would be kind of nice to stick one to my old club and get a goal here. And then he starts shooting a bit more. He's just not involved enough for me.
I mean, yes, but he hasn't been... part of his task hasn't been the shooting bit, has it? I think he's far more likely to pick up assists. I am pondering on a swap because I think Xavi is going to offer a lot more because you're going to have the set pieces. You're going to have the free kicks. Okay. You're going to share the corners. I think there's more goal product there as well than there is on the other side with Kudus.
Okay, and last bit of Spurs chat. So FPL Victoria's Secret. Thank you for the member chat. Member here for a month. FPL Victoria's Secret. Question for Sam, what to do with Richarlison? Not sure where to go. So Victoria's Secret has got Richarlison. Does he go straight to Haaland early? I mean, if you can, but it's a hell of a jump, isn't it? But what to do with Richarlison? Hold or sell? Keep?
I think he will play Richarlison next week. Because I think you'll play Richarlison in the Champions League. I suspect he plays Richarlison again at the weekend because it's a more difficult game against Brighton and I think we'll need him. And then I suspect that Tell will get the game in the League Cup the midweek after. So I think I would hold, let the Arsenal and Man City game play out next week and then make the move into 6.
All right. And what about West Ham then? I mean, West Ham, that's now 8 goals conceded in the 2 home games they've had. They conceded a hatful, didn't they, against Chelsea? And similarly against Spurs, it felt to me like it was just an implosion. Like, like I say, first 10 minutes, okay. Then they got away with one, didn't they, with the VAR call?
Yeah.
Then they obviously go 1-0 down, but okay, don't panic. You're at home, it's 1-0, it happens. Then the Souček red, then they don't switch on from that. Then Bergvall scores immediately after. I know it's a good goal, but it's still switch on, do you know what I mean? And then suddenly it's 3-0, could have been more. I mean, what's up with them? There's just the mentality's not there, is it? There's just something wrong with them mentally where they just collapse in games. I know they beat Forest 3-0 last week, but that's starting to look like
more about Forest.
Doesn't it? Yeah, doesn't it? I mean, on the back of that game, Nuno gets the sack, right? So I don't know about West Ham. They are properly struggling, and they look like a team to target. And it's Palace next, right? Another London derby at the London Stadium. They've just lost 2 London derbies and conceded 8 goals. I mean, you're keeping your Matetas and your Munoses, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think the thing is, what was really interesting to me, and I know I said it on Ohana last week, they didn't sell the game. Like, the tickets have gone to general sale. It's a London derby against Spurs. They hate us. We don't
Say that
much like
again.
them.
So they what?
They didn't sell the stadium out. Tickets went to general sale.
That's a worry, isn't it?
And a load of the general sale tickets were bought by Spurs fans who sold out our end and decided to buy West Ham in.
Felt empty.
It did feel empty. And they all left. And I think there is a general...
Something not right there.
There's a general melee about West Ham from the fans I'm talking about at the moment. You speak to a West Ham fan, they're not happy. They're not happy, and I understand why they're not happy, but they're not happy. They're not really behind the team. They're not behind Potter. They're not buying into it. Even Bowen. So the second goal that we scored...
He's screwed though, isn't he? Because his father-in-law is Danny Dyer, who's the biggest West Ham fan in the country.
So the second goal goes in, and Bowen's there, and he's just like... He throws his hands up to the sky in almost like exasperation. Yeah. He's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. He's there... trying, and Bowen will always give 100 million% because that is the type of player he is. But around
didn't
him,
at the weekend, I don't think.
But I think he does. If you watch him, he's got the movement. Paqueta's decent as well, but they're just not playing well. And the defence, I don't even know what's happening there. The goalkeeper's all over the place. They're making mistakes left, right, and centre.
You're absolutely right.
They're a team to target.
Yeah, conceded 11 goals from their 15 shots on target, I noticed as well. So the keeper ain't saving anything. He ain't saving anything. Let's move on. That is more than enough Spurs chat, Sam. More than enough Spurs chat. Let's go to your other favourite side of London. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. A game we watched on Saturday lunchtime in the pub in St Albans, which was very nice. I mean... impressive, I thought, Arsenal. Impressive.
They were very impressive.
And for everything we said about West Ham, I think you can say ditto Forest at the minute. Andrew's got a job on his hands. And some of the defenders that he's losing already are a bit, Murillo looks as if he's going to be out for a little while. We don't know exactly how long, but a little while.
Aina's out for 3 months.
Aina's out for months. Yeah, I mean, it's mad, isn't it? And you scratch beneath the surface in this Forest team, and the squad ain't really big enough. And in the old world under Nuno last season, when they're not running around at 100 miles an hour, and they're not playing Ange ball, and Chris Wood isn't having to press like a maniacal idiot. Yeah, they don't get many injuries. And Nuno Espirito Santo did a really good job of managing that squad on a shoestring budget with hardly any investment, and played with, frankly, what he had, what he could get.
Yeah.
Now Ange comes in, and we did a bit of this on Ohana last week, so we won't go mad on it or early in the week. I just doesn't feel like the right appointment to me at all.
No.
At all. And don't get me wrong, he's come in and he's got nothing to do with the Murillo injury. But one of the things I said on the Ohana podcast was that actually Marinakis is already, I think, in the pre-season, because you saw it in the underlying stats for the first 3 weeks, right? Nuno was trying to get a bit more of a pressing tune out of these guys. He was trying to get something a bit more lively, obviously under instruction from Marinakis, I think, because that's why he's pushed back and said, no, I've got the personnel to do this. But it was more intense than it was last season.
Yeah.
And he's broke a couple of players already.
It's difficult, I think, because without Aina, so I sold Murillo this week. And for those of you that listen to Ohana, you'll already know, but I felt just like I just had enough of the double Forest defence, and I could not see it improving. The Aina injury, the 3 months for Aina is so important, because he is so important to that back line, and the kid that they brought in to replace him just not good enough at all. Then Murillo gets injured, and the player that they have to back him up not good enough at all. Now, okay, the Europa League doesn't start this week, but they've got League Cup action. Then the week after, they've got the Europa League. They do not have a squad big enough to cope with this, because the backup players, a bit like at Spurs last year, are not good enough.
They've signed loads of players. The chat, you guys in the chat, right? They have got loads of players. They're none of them are any good.
They're not good enough, and that's the problem. Is the 11? Yeah, they're decent,
and none of them are match fit either, because Nuno just plays the 11.
Yeah, and the backup options, they're not ready. And these new guys, they're not up to pace with the Premier League. They're not up to pace with what Nuno wanted. And now they're being asked to play a completely different system under Ange Postecoglou. And they're totally different managers. I cannot see this going well, even with the 2 fixtures that they have coming up next. Those 2 newly promoted sides, Burnley and then Sunderland, it would not shock me to see Burnley beat Nottingham Forest next week. Because Burnley are resolute when they want to be.
And many of us, me included, I mean, I held on to Nico Williams because I'm thinking, all right, well, I'll bench him this week against Arsenal. But then, what's the next two after that?
Burnley, Sunderland, isn't it?
Yeah, let's have a look at the fixtures. So they're right up there, Burnley and Sunderland, and then, Newcastle, Chelsea, Bournemouth. So you'd want to sell in 7, but for the next two, look, on paper at least, looks good. But we sat here at the top of the show and said these two teams are pretty good, right? Pretty good. What, better than Forest at the minute?
Better than Forest.
Better than Forest.
And I just think that you've got to learn a new style under a new manager. I don't think it's going to happen quickly. They've got another match in midweek, another match the midweek after. There's no bedding in time, and they've got key injuries. And if Murillo's out long term as well, the defence is absolutely done because they've lost 2 of their really important key assets. And we saw that Milenkovic can't play a high line against England the other week, and Sells is just doesn't have the personnel in front of him anymore. So it's all difficult. And if you got Chris Wood, I don't even know what I would do with Chris Wood because the fixtures suggest you save. But Burnley and Sunderland looking all right defensively.
Yeah, absolutely right. Arsenal, though, impressive. Impressive. I have got absolutely zero clue what Chelsea were doing getting rid of Noni Madueke. The guy, it looks like a different player for me at Arsenal. Totally different player. Do you know what I thought? And you'll be like, shut up on this. But the kid moves like Mo. He moves like Salah a little bit. No, he does, honestly.
He moves like Mo.
His movement, his body shape, the way he attacks, he's got Salah-like qualities, I think, Madueke. Now, I don't know what becomes of him when Saka's back and fit and available, right? Maybe dropped to the bench, whatever. But you can suddenly see why Arsenal picked him up. Because he was very, very good at the weekend. Now, I know he's attacking, fullbacks that, probably don't want to be playing against someone as good as him. But I thought he ran the show, right? And we do obviously got to give a shout out to Zubimendi. I mean, what an unbelievable goal. I mean, the first goal is unbelievable.
And he nearly does it again. He nearly did another one.
Nearly. But, I mean, the header was unusual for him. I don't know much about Zubimendi's history, but I think it's unusual for him to score a header, hence the tapping on the head on the celebration. But take nothing away from the first goal. It was unbelievably good. But it was Madueke that stood out for me.
But Arsenal just generally impressed me. And I think it's one of those, isn't it, where I looked at that game and thought, shall I get Gabriel? And then I looked at next week's game and thought, I don't know how I feel about that. Given I'm wildcarding in 6, it didn't feel like the right thing to do. But on wildcard, I will absolutely be troubled up on Arsenal because I think they look...
Trebled up?
Yeah. The fixtures from 6 onwards are definitely there for trebling up. I think you don't... And what I love about it is that in the past, we've had to pay 6+ million for 2 defenders, unless you went for Raya, and then you can get away with 5.5 and 6. And you've had to pay for Saka. So you've had to pay the 10 million or whatever it costs to get Saka in your team. So you've had to spend in excess of 20 million on your 3 Arsenal assets, 22 million. This season, I don't think that's true because you can go for your double up defensively if you want to. Timbers is there as an option. You can have, if you wanted, you can get Timber and Calafiori and you can save a little bit of money on your 2 really expensive ones in Gabriel and Saliba, or you can get Raya. But you've also got Eza, who's looking like he was made to be on the left-hand side of that Arsenal team. As much as it pains me to say that, although we got Xavi and I'm happy. So, but he looks brilliant and he's super cheap. So you can go for him. You've got Gyökeres, who's also cheaper than...
What do you think about Gyökeres? Is he going to be in your wildcard team game week 6?
I think it's unlikely.
Because that forward line is now starting to look a little bit busy, isn't it? With potentially Haaland and João Pedro.
Because Haaland is absolutely, in my mind, if you wildcard, Haaland is essential. And we can talk about Man City in a minute. But I think if you're wildcarding, Haaland has written himself into absolutely essential category, given the Man City fixtures. Lee, given the Man City fixtures, you cannot pick any other Man City player. Because they're just essential. You look at the City fixtures and you can't pick anyone else because they're not guaranteed of starts.
All right.
So I think he's essential. I think Pedro pretty much has written himself into the long-term stay bracket because he just picks up points. And then at some point, Isak's going to appear on the scene going, hello, I still exist, remember me? And you're going to want him as well. I'm almost certain of that. So
Gyökeres as well?
It makes Gyökeres a really tough own because which one of those 3... I mean, obviously for now, you could not have Isak. But in a few weeks' time, I think you will want Isak. So my suspicion is that I'm going to end up with a double Arsenal defence and Eza if Saka's injury keeps him out a little bit longer, which I don't think it's going to. But if it does, then Madueke, I think, is also a really nice option.
I do like Eze. Gyökeres, don't know yet. I don't know. I'm still yet to be convinced. He is getting into those. So the goal he scored was like perfect number 9, right? It's what Arsenal have been missing for years, right? The fact that the long ball goes over the top. Who played the ball? Maybe it's Gabriel over to Eze. And the defender gets stuck underneath it, doesn't he? And doesn't do one or the other, which is poor, really. Yeah. And Eze just first time plays it to Gyökeres. And in previous seasons, that player isn't there.
No,
that's a Trossard who's a bit behind, or it's a Havertz who's waiting for a header. But no, Gyökeres is there for a tap-in. And that's absolutely what he's all about. He does strike me as a bit of a flat-track bully. And I don't know whether that's because he's kind of new to the Premier League and maybe, he's coming up against the weaker defences. Not that Forest are a weaker defence, but when he scored, Murillo was already off, right? So for me, that is a weaker defence than we're used to seeing for Forest, right? So the reason I say that is because when you look at the Arsenal fixtures going forward, the reason you might want them is that City next week. So I think I'm going to try my best to stay away from that game. Having no City or Arsenal in my team right now,
I'm going to do the
probably just going to swerve that fixture because I think it's quite hard to call. But then Newcastle away in 6, also tricky. But then West Ham, Fulham, Palace, 7, game week 7, as we've always said, is the turning point for Arsenal.
Because it goes on after those fixtures you've just mentioned. It runs nice for a long time. It
looks great. And I think, Gyökeres coming up against some of these, what I would call good defences for a flat track bully to play against. Fulham away. These defences are better than I'm giving them credit for, right? And Palace as well, difficult, right? But West Ham at home looks great, doesn't it? You'd want at least a couple of Arsenal for that. Who would be your defender of choice if you were going to go for Arsenal?
Timber.
Okay.
I love Timber. I've owned Timber before, and I think the saving of 0.4 million is quite substantial. I think actually I'll end up doubling up, probably with Raya, but possibly with Gabriel and because that defence is only going to get stronger when Saliba comes back as well.
No love for Calafiori?
It's a bit worried about his hair. Did you see that thing about him?
You're not getting him because he's greasy.
No, I didn't.
Is that what you're saying?
But did you see?
I think he's playing very, very well so far this season. He's playing very well,
but I really like Timber, and I owned Timber a lot. Was it last season or the season before? I had Timber a lot, and it worked really well. I really like Timber. He is my preferred Arsenal defender, I think.
Yeah, Lewis Skelly's there as well, isn't he? I don't know. I want to watch him against Man City and see what happens, but yeah, one of those two looks like it's worth the save. They've both gone up in value, I think. They're like 5-7 now, those 5-7, two. So I think probably worth it. But yeah, Arsenal absolutely looking investable, but probably from 7. But if I wildcard in 6, I'm having some, aren't I? You're getting some because you want them ahead. You want them ahead of that run, don't you? You want them ahead of that run. Yeah. So Forest definitely a team to target. Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1 then. A good game. Very, very good game indeed. Tell me about what you thought of the Bournemouth performance first. So as a Semenyo owner, I was obviously very happy to see that 13 points roll in. A decent assist, but still, Adam, was it Alex Scott?
A little bit lucky.
No, come on. He's pulled it out of the air, and it is a sideways pass to Scott, and it's a great goal by Scott, but he still has to control it out of the air, beat a couple of defenders. It's not a gimme assist by Semenyo, so don't give me that. No, and then secondly, he got the pen. He could have had more goals towards the end of the game. He's just looking like an all-round brilliant asset, Semenyo, I think.
he is about to lose the pens, though. I think because Kluivert's back. Because Kluivert will be back next week.
We don't know that, though, do we?
Well, Kluivert took them last year. My suspicion would be that Kluivert goes back on them. So that may be slightly... I think he will. Slightly lessens Semenyo's appeal for me. All that said, I still think Semenyo is a fantastic option. I like the fixtures for Bournemouth. They continue to look nice. This fixture I found quite hard to call, actually. And in the end, I kind of ummed and ahed about Senesi for a long, long time and decided that I couldn't see a clean sheet in this one because Brighton have been playing well. They have been scoring goals. And so when the clean sheet went, I kind of felt a little bit validated in that.
They missed Diakite, didn't they? They brought a young lad in whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce. I've written it down here. Milosavljevic.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with Millie. He was great. He got 2 DEFCONs and I thought he was one of the best players in the game.
Yeah.
But the Senesi-Diakite combination was working very, very well. So I bought Senesi in this week. He got DEFCON for the 4th successive week. He just is going to be one of those really nice 4.5, 4.6 defenders that you'd have no trouble playing any week.
I totally agree. I just felt for 2 weeks I'd play the upside of trying to get somebody who might get 2 clean sheets. And so that's why I haven't gone there. On wildcard, I think he will be one of the first names in. And probably Semenyo as well.
Yeah, okay.
Semenyo might even come in this week.
I want to give a shout out to Truffer as well, who I think is effectively the Kirkes replacement, a 4.5 Bournemouth defender. He's now joint fourth amongst defenders for chances created with 5 and joint second for crosses. He's only 1.2% owned as well. So with some decent-ish looking fixtures for Bournemouth, I think Senesi will probably get the love because he's the DEFCON darling. But, Truffer definitely worthy of conversation. Yeah. Semenyo, though, I want to go back to him. Pound for pound, I think he's the best player in the game right now. You're talking about Haaland being essential. I don't agree. I think someone like Semenyo, though, at 7.5 or whatever he is right now, I think he does look essential, Semenyo.
I don't know.
God, I can't believe we're even stumbling over that.
Well, because I don't know. Because when Kluivert comes back, which he's due to be, I do think that... So last season, it was very much you can have Semenyo, you can have Kluivert, you can have both. And they were both great options. I don't know whether... So Semenyo has been the go-to at Bournemouth because he has been, pretty much the only one that you would have in that
Does Kluivert get back in the team?
Yeah. Of course
Why?
He does.
They've gone, back-to-back 3 wins, only lost to us marginally at the beginning of the season in Gameweek 1, which was at Anfield. It's difficult, right?
Kluivert makes them significantly better.
I don't know. Can they get any better? They're playing great. Well, yeah, does he get in ahead of Scott, for example?
Yeah, I would play him ahead of Scott.
I'm not so sure, I'm not so sure.
That's interesting because I think Kluivert is absolutely brilliant.
I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm just saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it for Bournemouth. They're playing great.
Well, maybe.
It's a reason he's benched at the minute, right?
Well, he's been injured. Coming back from injury.
Sure. Well, get him back in the team for this week then, but no, he's on the bench. I don't think it's as clear-cut as that. I don't think it's as clear-cut as that. The fixtures for Bournemouth look very, very good indeed. They are right up there with Newcastle at home next, Leeds, Fulham, Palace and Forest after that. So some decent, especially the home games with Newcastle, Fulham and Forest. They will give anybody a game at the Vitality. Absolutely anybody a game. And I think Semenyo, for that run, looks, if not essential, then very, very close to it. Brighton good, though, as well. Nice header by Mitoma, back post. Don't often see him with that sort of goal, but very good. And Minte, in particular, was good. He gave the fullback all sorts of issues, didn't he? Don't know if I'm necessarily going to bring any Brighton in, though. Let's have a look at the Brighton fixtures. Where are they? I've missed them. Spurs next. And then away at Chelsea. Wolves, Newcastle, Man United. It's looking pretty blue on the Fantasy Football Scout ticker, but I don't think you're going to invest ahead of Spurs. That's going to be a tricky game. And then away at Stamford Bridge, they're probably just a wait and see. Then in 7, we might act if we see a significant uptick in form.
I've got De Kuiper. He seemed to get injured. He's now flagged. Probably one to deal with.
Hoarding by Semenyo. The Semenyo a bit lucky to avoid a
probably should have been sent off. Probably should have been sent off and not got all those points for you. But I think I'll have to just keep an eye on that because he's a player that will not last on wildcard. Even with those fixtures coming up for Brighton, he's not been a good pick since the start of the season. I solely blame Az. But I think there's so many nice 4.5 options.
There's no one standing out for me at Brighton right now, except Hertzler, right? I mean, if I had assistant manager, if that chip came back, I'd be playing it on him. That guy's dress sense is unreal, by the way.
You don't play...
I watched him on Match of the Day. I was like, you look slick, mate. I love him. He's brilliant, isn't he?
What has this got to do with anything?
It's not got to do anything with anything on FPL. I'm just saying he just...
Was he your man crush?
I wouldn't say man crush, but, good manager, good dress sense. Go and have a look on Match of the Day what he's wearing, this kind of oversized jacket. I loved it. It's great. He's a top boy. He is.
Worry about you.
Right, let's move on. Let's move on from the Brighton manager. Let's do...
I can't believe you've just given... Somebody clip it and send it to Hertzler. He'll be living his best life that people are saying his dress sense is the one.
Belongs on a catwalk, that man. Belongs on a catwalk. A couple of 0-0s that we're going to go through very, very quickly. Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. If you look at some of the XG in this game, Everton were absolutely all over it. 2.17 XG. Grealish, if you've got Grealish in your team, you are bang unlucky to come away with just a yellow card. He was all over it and was a threat constantly. And when I was watching that game on Match of the Day, they're looking for him more than anything. They're looking for him, Everton. Every time they get the ball,
should be.
How quickly can we get it to Jack Grealish? Because he's the one being really, really creative. So from an FPL perspective, do not worry, Grealish owners. He is definitely one to keep. He's looking hot as hell. Let's do Villa in a minute. But Everton, any more thoughts other than just Grealish?
I'm still done with Dewsbury Hall. I don't see the point of him.
Any analysis on Dewsbury Hall, or you just don't see the point in him?
I just don't think he's a good FPL asset. I
Why?
appreciate that last week he got 12 points. I just think that
Keep coming out with these random statements.
Because genuinely don't think he's very good.
Why?
I'm about to tell you, but you won't shut up talking about Hertzler all the time. So wait and stop saying why and listen. Because I think if you're going to go for a player at Everton, there are far better options. You pay a little bit more and you can have Grealish, who they're looking for every 5 minutes. They're not looking for Dewsbury Hall. In fact, he's looking for Grealish, who is them putting the ball in.
He's 1.5 million more.
But that's beside the point, because we've just been set here talking about how there's all these options at 4.5 million in defence. You do not have to be spending huge amounts of money. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a conversation about how you don't need Salah in a minute. So you talk about all these assets that you don't need in the higher price point, and it's very easy to get from Dewsbury Hall up to Grealish, and there's significantly
That is such
better.
a shit argument, honestly. That is so
There's
poor.
not.
You just don't rate him because you missed out on his haul the other week.
No,
and now it's
because
like,
he's not
you
been
can't
good.
compare him to Grealish. He's a million point,
All right, well, compare him to
1.5 million
wherever else you
more.
like, because there's loads of others that are cheaper. You can go for Pap Sarr if you want to, significantly cheaper. You can go for Elliot Anderson, who's finally started to pick up some DEFCON points. You can go for Caicedo, who's always picking up. There's loads of players that are regularly picking up additional points. Dewsbury Hall is not.
He's fine. He's 5 million.
Fine.
He's fine. Do
He's
you know what I mean?
not fine.
He's of course, straight choice between the two. You'd have Grealish right now, of course, but not everyone's got 1.5 million to burn.
But Dewsbury Hall's just not a good FPL asset.
Okay.
And the problem is that for most people in their setups, you're having to play him most weeks, and he's just not good enough to be in the starting 11 in an FPL team. You're basically playing handicapped.
All right, he's a 5 million asset in a team that's just racked up 2.7 XG, and they're full of attacking intent. I absolutely think you're wrong. I think he's absolutely is an asset at that money. Villa though, what is going on with these boys? What is going in with these boys? We said it at the top of the show. No goals in 4, no goal. You know, the only team in the whole of the English Football League to still not score a goal. WTF? What's going on with Villa?
It's mad. I'm going into this game with 2 assets in attack, one for each side. I did not think that neither of them would get anything out of this game, and it'd be all about the defences picking up all the points. Villa are just... What is baffling to me about Villa is that in pre-season they were good. They had a good pre-season. They were playing well. They were scoring goals. And I appreciate that the clubs you play in pre-season aren't Premier League standard. And it's different. But they've not had a bad start to the season, Villa. They've had decent matches and they're still not scoring goals. It's different to lose every game to start the season as long as you're scoring goals. But they've got 2 points.
But they're not even creating, is my problem, right? They're not even looking like it. No. So this time last season, did a compare, they had 7 goals already this time last season, 0 so far this season. They had more shots on target after 4 game weeks last season. They had 19, now they've had 10. They had 10 big chances by now. They've had 4 so far this season. They racked up a 7.1 of XG by the end of game week 4 last season, and it's 3.1. This is no joke. This is a massive drop off for Villa, and I don't know why, and it annoys me that I can't figure it out. But one thing's for sure, Watkins is on thin ice. On really thin ice. And I don't know how many weeks we're going to sit here and say it, because the fixtures are good. There's no doubt, right? I mean, we've got to have a look. Hold on, I've got to switch to the ticker. The Villa fixtures. The reason I will hold Ollie Watkins is because it's Sunderland next, who we keep saying are actually pretty good defensively.
They're really good.
Fulham at home, Burnley at home, Spurs away, Man City. Now, where in there are they going to score a goal? Because in the next 3, you'd go... There will be loads of FPL managers, me including, that saying, I can't sell Watkins ahead of Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley. But we just sat here and said Sunderland are decent defensively. Fulham have been...
They've been solid.
Okay. You know, Anderson's been a bit of a cornerstone for them, isn't he? Burnley have shown, you know, when Liverpool went to Turf Moor, they can be resolute, right? Spurs away, difficult. Man City, he's just on thin ice, isn't he? If Isak was ready to come into the squad, I'd have done Watkins to Isak already, but it doesn't look like Isak's going to be ready for a few weeks. But they just lack so much creativity. And Harvey, bless him, I don't know, he come on and struggled to have an impact, but then it's his first game. What'd you expect? I think the bit of the X factor that they had at the back end of last season with Rashford and Asensio, right? With those guys coming in, say what you want about them, but they're both pretty direct. They're both reasonably quick, and they both know where the net is.
Yeah.
You take them two out. You take the fact that Daniel Marlon can't even get a game with Emery. They must have fallen out or something.
They've had another row, yeah.
Honestly, I can't tell you. I can't tell you what's going on with them.
It's really weird because, they properly have trolled us, Aston Villa, because we all went there. And if you've had a defender, you feel a bit differently about this because they have got the clean sheet out of this one, and it look, from that perspective, it's okay. But as an Ollie Watkins owner, I'm looking at the fixtures going, oh, it's difficult to sell. But at the same time, I'm also looking at him going, I can't wait to not have you in my team anymore, because every week I have to play you because you've got these great fixture on paper, and you should get something out of it. And then I sit down and I'll watch Villa, and there's no creativity, there's no talking to each other, they don't look like they like each other very much, they're not working together as a team.
Did you see the body language? I was watching the match of day highlights. The body language is not good.
And
Emery's not good.
Emery's just annoyed with them all the time. He looks cross. Yeah. So it doesn't look like a happy camp. And they're about to go into a busy period where they're about to start their European campaign as well. And all of this is, it's not ideal, is it? So the
thing that sums them up, I think, in a minute is that they've had the big goodbye for Martinez, right? He had the big goodbye. He's on tears in the pitch. I'm telling you, he was man of the match here. He was unbelievably good, Martinez, at the weekend. Yeah. There was one save he did from, I think, Michael Keane in the second half. It's world class. It's world class, the save. He's man of the match by a country mile. And he's somehow still at the club. I just don't understand what's going on at Villa. I don't understand. Let's move it on. Let's go to some of the games from today. Let's talk about the Manchester derby then. Man City 3, Manchester United 0.
Can I just say something?
Go on.
When you don't have Haaland in your team, it's living awful to watch Man City.
Well, do you know what? I often think that. I often think when I'm watching a game and I've not got someone as an FPL asset, how uncomfortable am I? And that was really uncomfortable watching Haaland today. Well, really uncomfortable. To be honest, and Reinders as well.
We were really, not so much with Reinders, but with Haaland, we were really lucky. Really lucky.
Yeah, he could have had 3 or 4 easily.
We had one off the woodwork. We were really lucky that he only got 2.
That was a 0.89 XG, that one that come off the post, wasn't it?
And I was like this when it was happening. And it was one of those. And actually, we had one at Max's game today, didn't we? That came off and it went along the line and somehow wasn't giving us a goal. And the same sort of thing with Haaland. But it's not comfy. It's really not comfy. The only reason I went into today without a Man City player was because Aït-Nouri got injured. And so I had to sell him. And because of next week's fixture.
It's the Arsenal game, isn't it? That's just like you. I will just accept that I've missed the boat here. If you got Haaland and you captain him, George, you captain Haaland, it would have given you a massive green arrow. Well done. Fair play. Different game next week. Different game.
Yeah.
I'd still be happy to have him, but it's a different game.
Yeah.
And then do I get him on wildcard in 6 is going to be the big question. Also, he's not going to come up against United every week. United were poor, really bad again. really bad.
Did you expect it? I didn't expect anything different.
Yes, I did expect something different.
Well, you said that. You said you thought that Man United might get something out of this.
I remember the game last year.
I just didn't see it. They're so bad.
I don't think they've played that bad this season. This is the worst they've played, United.
I don't know. They were pretty poor against Burnley last week.
Yeah, I just don't think Fernandes and Ugarte works in midfield. I just don't see how that works in midfield. I actually think, God, this guy's going to come back to haunt me. I think they actually missed Casemiro a little bit until he come on, right? Ugarte is just not the one at all. And by the time they're starting to push United towards the end of the game and Haaland can stay in his own half and be onside for that goal where he's just been put straight through, the defending is just shambolic. So,
new goalkeeper next weweek, I guess.
Oh, the chat's reminded me that they lost to Grimsby United. Yes, they have played worse than this. You're quite right, George. They were bad. Yeah, they were bad. But United's fixtures going forward, it's Chelsea next, which
they'll lose.
Going to be hard for them, right?
They'll lose to Chelsea. Chelsea are far better team.
And then they've got to go away to Brentford, Brentford are just like Jordan Henderson, like supreme right now. Then it's Sunderland at home. Then it's Anfield. Then it's Brighton at home.
How many points do they get in them 5?
Chelsea, Brentford, Sunderland, Liverpool, Brighton. There's wins in there.
There's not.
Do you not think?
No.
Do you not think they win any of those games?
No.
Bloody hell, Sam.
I think they lose to Chelsea. I think they draw with Brentford. I think they'll draw with Sunderland. I think they'll draw with Brighton and they'll lose.
Draw at home to Sunderland?
Yeah. Sunderland will go there and defend. And Manchester United won't have an answer. I think there's 3 draws. I think they get 3 points in the next 5.
I think there's a win in there for United somewhere. But the problem is, you just don't know. I think there's a win in there. I'm sitting there saying there's a win in there for them somewhere.
Where?
I don't know.
Where's the win?
It's really hard to predict what sort of United turn up. I just don't know. But the fixtures look difficult, and from that perspective,
And the Champions League.
Yeah. All of that. I just don't see me. I don't think holding Bruno on wild card. I don't think.
No, you'd have to be mad.
Well, I don't know about mad, but I don't see it. I don't see it right now. So City good. Did we get a bit? You're saying you didn't feel like you were under threat from Reinders, but I thought you looked really good again today.
No, I didn't say I didn't feel like I was under threat from Reinders. I didn't watch Reinders and be quite as scared as I did Haaland. I was watching Haaland thinking, oh my God, I've got away with one. There were a couple of moments with Reinders where I thought, got away with that. There was one where he came through and he hit it and it just went by the back post. Yeah. That one I thought got away with.
Should have had an assist for Haaland as well.
He probably should have had an assist for Haaland as well. But I didn't feel the same level of fear that I did with Haaland, if that makes sense. Because the thing with Reinders is...
He's well owned, though.
He is well owned, but you never really know where he's going to play. Because today he was very attacking, but last week he wasn't.
When he unleashes him...
Yeah,
Pep.
It's hard to know when that's going to happen.
Well, now Rodri's there, probably more often than not,
Maybe more often.
I mean, that was the reason he was a little bit deeper, because no Rodri. Rodri comes in, first start for ages for him today.
Yeah,
and maybe he gets unleashed a bit more. I for sure going to be looking at him on wildcard, for sure.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of FPL Manager would have moved on in game week 1, obviously, and then it's been a bit disappointing since. But if he's going to be playing in a more advanced position more often than not, because of Rodri, with these games coming up, you want a piece of that, don't you? I think you want a piece of that.
I don't disagree with you that I think I'll probably go in there. But what I'm saying is that I didn't have the same kind of fear. Haaland, I thought I'm lucky he's not got 5 or 6 here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all.
All right. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1. Lots of thoughts I've got as usual. What do you think?
No, go on. You better start.
Well, I mean, listen, they just sat, didn't they? They sat Burnley.
You were frustrated, weren't you?
Yeah,
frustrated
figure. It sort of looked like it was just going that way, didn't it? For like minutes and minutes and minutes, and we weren't really creating anything. That was the thing. The commentaries kept saying, even on like 60, 70 minutes, Liverpool being very patient in their build-up. I'm like, can we stop being patient and actually just up the tempo a little bit?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Slot got a bit annoyed with all of that about 10 minutes ago, and he brought on, I think, Frimpong and Rio, the young kid Rio and Gamoa. And I'm like, in my head, I was like, they're both very quick, but no spacing behind it. They're just sitting back. But what that did mean was that he just put more forwards on. He just put more players on it. In the end, he just threw
everything at it
as much as he could at Burnley, because he was just like, I've got to win this game. And in the end, I mean, it's a handball, isn't it?
It's a pen.
It is a pen, and you back Mo, don't you, every day with that. So yes, we've got away with it a bit, I think, but I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm biased. I thought we deserved it because we were the only team looking to win the game. Burnley weren't really attacking at all.
Is that at no point did I feel like you weren't going to win that game?
Oh, I did.
I know you did.
Yeah.
We had this conversation while it was playing out, and you were like, I can't see it. And I was like, you win this game 1-0. Like, there's something about the way that you are and the team spirit and the way...
mentality thing, right?
There's a real positive mentality. And I always felt that you were going to get something out of the game. In the same way that I thought last week and the week before and every other time you've scored a late goal. I brought in Virgil this week.
Nicely done.
Nicky, I'm so sorry. I've punched you. There you are. So that went well.
8-pointer, bonus points?
Yeah, he was on for free at one point, so I was a bit upset to lose the
No
one.
DEFCONs, but then he didn't really do a lot of defending, so understandable.
And he still got six DEFCON points. So in a game where he didn't have to do a lot of defending, that's actually not terrible, is it? It suggests that probably next week against Everton, he will get some DEFCON points, so that's fine. So he came in for me. That was good. Salah obviously getting a goal. And picking up a bonus, so that was decent as well in the end.
FPL Mackham is saying Salah had 0.0 non-pen XG, which I can believe, because he certainly wasn't in in the areas. I don't remember many Liverpool chances, full stop, never mind for Mo. So here's the question then, the big question of the next couple of weeks in FPL, which is if you're going to wildcard in game week 6, you're going to have Mo Salah or not?
Nope.
You're not going to have him?
No.
Having which Liverpool attackers then, if any?
Well, probably none,
right.
Unless Isak is ready.
Mm.
If Isak is ready going into 6, then I'll probably go there instead.
Okay.
I'm not sure he will be, though, because he's not in the squad today.
Mm.
So that's not even suggesting that he's near. He's just not in the squad. So he'll probably be in the squad next week. I doubt if he's going to be in the Champions League squad.
Well, Slot has said that he will give him minutes in either that game or against Everton.
Okay.
He has said he will feature.
So that's interesting. So let's see when that comes then, when the minutes come. So, but he's going to be built up, isn't he? He's not going to be started.
Yeah, Slot said he's weeks away from starting again. Yeah.
So by the time we roll into 6, you'll have had the Champions League game, Game Week 5, a League Cup game, and then 6.
Yeah.
So
there are plenty of opportunities to see.
3 opportunities to watch Isak and to see how many minutes he gets before that wild card. I think there is a good chance that when I wildcard to Gyökeres and 1 point something million in the bank. In order that there is a route easily to Isak, or whoever it is, with a route easily to Isak with the money for him. I think that's probably the strat I'll have because...
And is your no on Salah mostly because it's a yes for Haaland?
Yes. Because I think Haaland is essential. And I think I know you disagree with me, but I do essential. With the fixtures. I think he is essential. The way that he is playing, I think he is essential. And I'm looking at my team and I'm thinking, I can do it. I can have both. It is possible. But it does have an impact on the other players, because obviously João Pedro remains. So if you have a front two that's Haaland and João Pedro, that third forward line has to come quite significantly down.
Yeah.
It means that you start to lose that 7 to 10 million bracket in midfield. So you probably can't have both Semenyo and Eza. You probably can't have a Palmer. Like there's lots of compromises to make. Whereas I feel like if I drop from Salah to Isak, it will still give me Liverpool coverage up top.
Right.
But I don't need to spend the 14.5 million on Salah.
All right. What are you doing with Wirtz then? Because Johnny Kern's in the chat, he's saying, can we talk about how poor an asset Wirtz is?
He's very, very, very frustrating. I probably should have sold him a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It's one of those where, the fixtures were there and I didn't want to take a hit. Hitting out a Liverpool asset never feels great, does it? Particularly one that's gonna start. So to take a -4 on a player, it's like, oh. However, this week I look at my bus team, and you'll see it later, and I do feel like, with the exception of Kudus, Wirtz is my weakest attacking option, apart from Ollie Watkins, who just is in a league of his own right now. And I could see me selling Wirtz this week, pending injuries elsewhere.
Can I make a fairly controversial prediction about Flo Wirtz?
Right.
I think that in about 4 to 5 weeks' time, he is going to be on everyone's radar to buy.
Why?
Because, listen, I know nothing about nothing when it comes to football, right? But I do know about Liverpool. And what I've been watching so far with this team is with Ekitike in that position. When Ekitike plays the 9, he is a different sort of 9 to Isak, right? We are buying Isak to be an out-and-out 9, right? He is going to score a shitload of goals for us, right? And I will get him on wildcard. But Ekitike is not that player. Ekitike likes to come deep. He also likes to drift left. He naturally drifts left. So when you come in naturally a bit deeper and a bit left, you are in Wirtz's space. Wirtz plays there. He plays in that left 10 position.
Yeah, because he was great.
That's where he plays, and that's where he does all of his damage. And Ekitike keeps drifting into that position. Gakpo is trying his best to stay wide, but he can't help himself, Gakpo, because he loves... Gakpo, only weapon he's got is cut inside on his right foot all the time. And when he's cutting inside on his right foot, whose space does he come into? Wirtz's space.
But that doesn't make
so right now you've got these 3 players all trying to do the same thing or trying to do something in Wirtz's space. My belief is that when Isak joins, the grand plan, I think, is that Isak joins, he doesn't drop into those spaces. Flo is allowed to do the work that he does in those spaces. It also will open up more space for Salah on the right-hand side. I don't know about what's going to happen on the left, though, with Ekitike and Gakpo. I think, and I've said this for weeks and weeks, Wirtz is a top player. He's an unbelievable player. Right now, he's no good for us in FPL because of two things. One, you're right in the chat, he's getting up to speed, right? He's noticing this is a step up. No doubt the Premier League is a step up. And playing in Liverpool Football Club is a step up from where he's been. So yes, he has to adapt and acclimatise, and it will take time. I think it'd be great for us in the Champions League, by the way. But the way the team is set up right now, there are too many people in his space doing what he wants to do. And I think when Isak comes in there, some of that space is vacated and he'll get assists left, right and centre. Yes or no?
That might be true, but we're talking 4 or 5 weeks a month down the line.
I'm not saying don't sell him now. You should sell him now.
International duty again. I personally don't think I'll ever go back there. And the reason I don't think I'll ever go back there is because what I think will happen in the next couple of weeks is that we're going to see a shift in the way that people manage their FPL teams. And when I say never go back there, I mean not this side of Christmas. Because what I think will happen is that on Wildcard, we'll look at shifting money around and there'll be a shift towards having a big front three. A Haaland, probably still keeping João Pedro, but also adding Isak into the mix up top. And then you've got this... And you could do it either way with the defence because, yes, there are so many great 4.6, 4.5, 4.7-ish million defenders that you can have. But I also think we're going to see a shift back towards needing the Arsenal guys. So even if you go for the cheapest Arsenal assets, you're talking about 5.5+ million. You're going to want at least one of them. You're probably going to want another asset from, maybe Palmer comes back into our thinking. Maybe you want to find room for Gyökeres. Maybe you want to find room for Semenyo and Eza and maybe Xavi Simons.
Palmer has the same problem, by the way. There's someone in the chat saying Palmer's the same. Correct.
Yeah.
Palmer's got the same problem because he wants to operate in that area.
Yeah.
And he's got João Pedro dropping. He's got Neto coming this way. He's got Enzo treading on his toes. That's his problem.
Yeah.
And Wirtz is the same.
Yeah. But my point is that I think at Wirtz's price point, he's going to be a very difficult player to have because you've got all these other expensive assets.
Yeah, don't disagree.
So I think until Salah disappears off to AFCON, and then maybe there's a new opportunity there to invest slightly differently in Liverpool. But for me, I feel like Wirtz and Watkins, as the graphic says, are my biggest issues right now. But Watkins, weirdly, because of the fixtures, I'm sort of stuck there. So Wirtz, I think, will be... And there's more obvious replacements, I think, in the Wirtz position in FPL right now.
I think we'll be talking about him again.
That's fine. We
in
can
a few
revisit
weeks.
it in a few weeks.
I think we'll be talking about it again. But you're right. If you put him straight, head to head against like a Semenyo or something right now,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, for sure. But when Isak comes in, I think we'll be talking about Wirtz again. I honestly do. Last game to discuss: Brentford versus Chelsea. Don't think have we ever seen a forward in a game that's 2-2, so four goals, and he just gets a dodgy deflected assist, 2 bonus points.
João Pedro. Just a points magnet.
Just the work he does for the team. I mean, I honestly was, I think we all had reasonably high hopes for him, and he had a really good Club World Cup, and I think Chelsea fans obviously had high hopes for him and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think he could have dreamed of having a better start.
No.
But when you watch him, it's like he deserves it because the work he's putting in is unreal. So yeah, 2 bonus points, and I'm looking at it, and of course I'm an owner, so I'm happy to get it. But even if I was a non-owner, I'd have watched that game and gone, bloody deserves that.
Yeah.
Bit jammy with the assist, but it's another 7 points for João Pedro. Just keeps ticking over.
It's constant, isn't it? And I wouldn't have said that this was a particularly brilliant game for Chelsea, but yeah, there he is.
Wasn't for him either.
No, but there he is.
Even he said before the game, I'm not 100%. I'm a bit knackered from international duty. You probably shouldn't play me. And the manager's gone, no, I need you. You got to play.
Yeah.
7-pointer. Happy days.
7-pointer.
Yeah.
I guess the bigger question is Palmer in this one because I think João Pedro's just. If you've got him, you absolutely hold. If you haven't got him, you probably ask yourself why not, and you probably invest. The question for me then is around that because one of the players that I was looking at this week was Cucurella. I was looking at Cucurella because I was thinking...
Go on then.
Well, I was thinking I need another defender because Aït-Nouri's done me over. So now I've got to find. Honestly, I'm so frustrated with Aït-Nouri. He plays brilliantly in game week 1. He gets a clean sheet. He goes off injured for a 1-pointer in 2. He plays in 3, gets a 0-pointer, and then in 4, apparently he's out for 5 weeks. oh my God, I've lost
Tough
the will
one.
to live.
Tough
Anyway, I have to take a -4 to deal with him. So I'm looking for a 2-week punt. So Cucurella was on my list of 2-week punts. Now, I was put off slightly when streaming with Tom for the members video for Scout the other day, because he was talking about how, because of the way that Chelsea had been over the last couple of weeks, because Reece James had played a lot of minutes for England, that he was anticipating maybe Gusto gets the start and Cucurella plays in a more defensively minded position. Maybe there's less chance of upside. And I didn't feel that Brentford wouldn't score. I thought that Brentford would get something in this game. So if Cucurella is going to play more defensive, no real upside. Couldn't see much potential there. When he's benched, I was surprised.
Yeah, but they've got to rotate the squad. He's come out and said it a few times. Loads of games, got the Champions League and all that.
So they didn't look great defensively as a result of this rotation.
They did not, until they changed it up. Yeah.
And I think that's the point, isn't it? Is that then they change it up. They bring on the cavalry, if you like. Palmer comes on and they look a lot better. Thought they were going to go on to win the game. Actually, Brentford came back and rightly got something out of that game. I think in the end it was probably
more than right. They absolutely did deserve it.
Probably the right thing. Palmer's interesting. So I think I've sort of gone off the Chelsea defence because now I'm worried about this rotation, particularly as we start to approach Champions League matches.
What about Chalobah, though? So I've noted also in the Fantasy Football Scout members area, he's joint top for defenders for goal attempts. And he got the DEFCON against Brentford, which basically means he hasn't blanked yet this season. When you look at his returns, he's 5.1. He's looking at probably a better bet than Cucurella at that money, because Cucurella is a significant chunk more change, right?
Yeah, but would you go for the Chelsea defence at all? And if you were going to, would you not just go for Sanchez?
Maybe. I don't know, maybe. Let's have a look at their fixtures. Chelsea fixtures. Man United away next. Brighton at home. Both of those look okay. Liverpool at home. Tricky fixture. Then it's Forest away, Sunderland at home. It's not bad, is it?
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
But you're going to have João Pedro. The question is, how do you double up? Do you go for a defensive option and then maybe you're right, maybe it's Chalobah that is the right option at the back, or maybe it's Sanchez in between the sticks, or do you try and find a way to get Palmer back in? Because he comes on and he gets something out of the game and actually could add another goal.
5 shots in this game, which is the most by any player in the game.
Yeah. And he didn't play much of it.
Only on 56.
Yeah. So, and he should have, there was another really clear-cut opportunity, wasn't there, where I thought, oh, he's braced here. And then he didn't.
Great save by Kelleher.
It was an outstanding save by Kelleher. He's a great goalkeeper. I like him a lot.
Do you know what I love most about this game? It was the Liverpool influence. And George, forgive me for saying this, because I thought Brentford were great, by the way. First thing to say, I thought Brentford were great.
Saw George on the TV, didn't we?
We did see George on the TV, yeah. And so I think Sean, took a little snapshot of him, screenshot of him, and put it in the Slack. I love that.
Yeah.
So I hope you enjoyed the game, George. I thought they were really good. I said to you before the game, I saw the Chelsea lineup and I was like, I fancy Brentford here. I fancy Brentford. And one of the reasons I fancied Brentford, because I go back to, and I appreciate that it was against Villa, wasn't it? But when we were on holiday that time, we watched Brentford versus Villa at 3 o'clock in that bar. Do you remember?
Oh, and I'd captained Watkins.
And you'd captained Watkins. And Brentford, under the guidance, under the leadership of Jordan Henderson, and I'm not about to go...
Here he goes.
Right, roll your eyes all you want. The guy is an unbelievable leader. And when he's telling people what to do on that football pitch, they listen to him, and Brentford are a better team for having him. Can't roll your eyes. That's one of the assists of the season so far for Sharda. What a ball that is.
There was a whole chat in the Slack today. Yeah, maybe last night. And I was absolutely astounded not to see you be part of it. I think it was George and Sam. And they were talking about how they would take Jordan Henderson to the World Cup for his leadership qualities alone. And then they were
Tuchel might do that. Tuchel might do that.
And I was reading it and I was thinking, this is such a League conversation. And I can't remember where you were at the time. You were doing something else, but I was like, I'm amazed that Lee's not coming here and gone off on a Hendo a love spiel about him. I don't disagree with all the things you just said.
You're not a Liverpool fan, so you won't understand this, right? But Liverpool fans just adore Jordan Henderson, and now Brentford fans are starting to understand why we adore Jordan Henderson. He's not the best player in the world. Not the best player in the world. But what a leader. What an unbelievably good leader he is. And Brentford are now starting to benefit from his leadership. Now, will he fall off towards the end of the season? Yes, he's old. His legs are gone. But for now, Brentford, enjoy him, right? Enjoy him. But I enjoyed that bit of Liverpool influence. I then enjoyed the fact that Carvalho, ex-Liverpool, gets the equaliser.
Oh, well, you're claiming this win, are you?
And then I enjoyed the Kelleher saves as well. So I'm just like,
you're claiming the draw.
This is Brentford. You are welcome, Brentford. Right? This for all.
Good Lord.
It was so good. It was so good from Brentford, and I was so chuffed that Carvalho got that goal, not just for him, but also because I thought they deserved it. I didn't think Chelsea deserved to win. So
I asked you a question about Cole Palmer, and you have not answered it. You've just gone on a hendo rant.
What about Cole Palmer?
What are you doing about Cole Palmer? Are you thinking about getting him back in?
No, not at the moment. No, not at the moment. No, not at the moment.
On wildcard?
No, not at the moment. No, I don't. Well, I don't think Chelsea are that good for a start. No, I don't think Chelsea are that good for a start. I think he's pretty expensive. That's his first open play goal since January, by the way. And like, what I struggle to get my head around is just like, well, where's that come from? He's come on and put on a brilliant performance. Well, where's that been since January? Why has he only just decided to turn up now?
Putting on good performances since January.
Been crap since January. Ooh, please, why did we all sell him 2 weeks ago? Because he was crap.
Because he got injured. We all sold him because he got injured.
Yeah, but there's very few FPL managers that were just like, well, he's that good, I'll hold him for a couple of weeks until he comes back from injury. We all were like, that's the end of him then.
But you wouldn't. No, I think that's nonsense. Because you're not going to hold a 10.5 million asset for a couple of weeks to see what happens. Not at this point in the season. You absolutely sell. Especially given, there's a wildcard coming up. But he is definitely a player that I'm looking to put back in on wildcard. I couldn't disagree with you more.
All right. Okay. Kingdom FC's in with the classic. Of course, Lee doesn't think Chelsea. I don't, mate. I don't. I think
you've just got your Chelsea hatred goggles back on again.
There was nothing about him defensively that I liked, and
This isn't about the defence. It's about Cole Palmer.
And I hear you. It was they rotated a bit, but he come out, didn't he, Maresca, and said, "I'm going to have to rotate."
Yeah, but
because we've got the European games and stuff coming up. I don't know. I'm not rushing back to Palmer anyway. I'm not rushing back. But anyway, he's never going to be a bad asset, is he? I'm not saying don't get Palmer. He's
backtracking now.
Not a bad asset, is he?
He's backtracking. But he's realised he said Palmer's bad and he's backtracking now. Watch Palmer score hat trick next week.
I'm keeping Guiu anyway. Let's.
Keep Guiu.
It's only a matter of time before he starts. What have we not done?
It's probably all right, isn't it?
We've done everything, haven't we? Walter Marder, first goal for Newcastle. Exciting or not?
Not really.
I thought he looked really good, Walter Marder. But it is Wolves.
I was going to say, did he look really good or did Wolves look awful again?
Wolves team to target. And also the manager's. I can't remember what he was saying, but in his post-match interview, I take a lot from those. The post-match interviews tell you a lot about managers. Like Amarim's today about, please can you sack me so I can leave this club. I mean, there's a lot of that going on, right?
He
basically said that, Amarim, didn't he? Maresca's, I had to rotate because my squad's all knackered and they all need game time. You can tell a lot, right, from what the managers say post-match. And Vitor Pereira, I mean, God love him, he just looked bereft. He was just like...
I think I would look bereft.
It's just
sold all my best players and they've not bought anyone in to replace them that's anywhere near good enough.
The only hope they've got is that Strand Larsen ain't out for that long, and then he comes back and starts banging some goals in. That's the only hope.
Strand Larsen can't carry the whole of Wolves on his back.
He can't.
We learnt that last season when Cunha was injured.
He can't. Right, let's move it on. Let's move it on to our teams. This is me for this week, 62 points. Again, we rank a 6.7. Red arrow from, like I said at the beginning of the show, from about 1.7 down to 2.3. It's fine. Like, I'm not pulling my hair out at all with this. It's sort of fine in a week where there was that many chips played by other managers. A smallish red. I don't like it, but it's fine. Semenyo definitely the star of the show. The Salah goal in the 90 whatever minute. Very pleased with that. There's the João Pedro. I thought João Pedro got 7, not 9.
Oh, I just didn't change it from last week on yours by the look of it.
Oh, okay, fine.
I think he's got 7 on mine.
Okay, fine.
Sorry.
These graphics, I love these graphics, but when we get to this one, like when you get, Sales and Dubravka look very similar again on this graphic.
Actually, I think that's the non-updated one. I made 2.
Of course it is.
Because I had to make 2 of yours.
We're going to turn this into a regular feature.
What Sam got wrong?
What's wrong on the graphic this week?
To be fair, I have had quite a busy afternoon because I have been cooking for 5 tonight. We had a visitor. So you're lucky to have got graphics, quite frankly.
Excellent. All right. But the podcasters love this bit of the show. They
Wait till
love
you see
this
the
bit
next
of the
one.
show.
I added little fancy bits to the bus team.
I've already seen that. I'm not sure about it.
Well, it's staying.
We'll get some feedback from the chat.
I like it.
But this is my team, Semenyo. So when there was those, you said to me this morning, "Who's your vice captain?" I got out of bed, and the first thing you said to me was not "morning, dear." You said, "Who's your vice captain?" And I said, "Well, Semenyo. Why? What's wrong with Salah?"
Well, because the Slack all said,
there was
this
a bit of
Salah,
rumour about
and that
Salah
one
not playing.
sold Salah, and
Bit
this
of rumour.
one sold Salah.
And what did I say to you when you said that?
Salah always starts.
Absolute nonsense. Of course he starts.
Guff and nonsense. I think you replied to it as you normally do.
So the thing that's turned this from an okay week into it could have been an amazing week is I feel like I'm overpaying for my defenders. Like Munoz 5-pointer this week feels like a blank. Given that
it doesn't.
It does.
Oh my God.
There's cheaper options in Palace that are doing better than Munoz.
You're so extreme tonight.
What? No, I'm not.
You're like, Munoz has got 5 points and it feels like a blank. I mean,
Does it not to you?
No.
All right. Well, I'd be very happy to pay 0.5 or $1 million less and get more points, as the other guys are getting better points than him right now.
Sure.
So that feels like a blank, and then the Porro 6 feels like a bit of been missold a little bit on the Spurs defence because all the other two.
I've been telling you.
Yeah, I know.
Here he is. Look at him.
Yeah, I know. I'm very. It's wrong of me to sit here and go, I'm upset with a clean sheet from one of my defenders, but for 5.5, I'm expecting more, particularly when a Van der Ven and a Romero are popping off with 14 and 12 points. So that's the only difference. If I'm getting a Van der Ven over a Porro, or if I'm getting a Lacroix or a Richards over a Munoz, I'm up into the 70s and I'm fine this game week. I'm fine. Yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. To get a 6 and a 5 from two of my defenders, and I'm sitting here whinging. It's like, come on, get over it. But the team looks all right. If I have a look at the team for next week, guys, get in the chat. Tell us what you think about this bus graphic. Not a fan, I have to say, but tell me what you think in the. I'm going to knock that over, that Van der Ven picture. Tell us what you think of this graphic. Keep it. In fact, I'm going to do a poll. Keep or bin, right? Start a poll. The bus graphic.
Well, I'm not being funny, but I make it and it's staying there regardless.
Keep or bin. The bus graphic. Here we are. Wait a minute. Question mark. This is good for the podcast, isn't it? Create poll. Right. Get in the poll, guys. Should we be keeping this picture of a bus on here because of the bus team, right? And just because you're all Team Sam, don't start it.
Just because you're grumpy.
Don't because you're all Team Sam.
You're
keep. I'm not having this
tonight. What is wrong with you? Salah scored you a last-minute penalty. You won the game.
Sean in the chat says, bin is a coach. It's not even a bus. It's a coach.
Oh, I couldn't find a bus. So we found a coach. It's fine. I needed to find one that didn't have writing on the side so I could put Lee on it.
Sean, that is brilliant. It's actually not even a bus. It's a coach.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, this is my coach team for next week. My coach team has got currently Salah captain because he's inevitable. I've got, let me read it out for the podcast. So I've got Dubravka in goal at home to Forest. I've got Senesi at the back with Porro, Munoz and Nico Williams coming back in against Burnley away. Then I've got Salah, currently captain, Semenyo, Fernandez and Gakpo, and then Watkins and João Pedro up front. My bench is Sells, and then Diouf at home to Palace, first sub. Dewsbury Hall, and then Mark Guiu, third sub. So I spent 2 transfers this week, so I only have 1 for next week. I don't think I'm going to spend it. I think I'm probably going to... At the moment, I can't... Well, the game that I'm trying to stay away from is Arsenal-Man City. I do want players from both of those sides, but not next week. So I'm probably going to just save my transfer and roll it. There's nothing in there that's screaming out to me, must fix. Interestingly, now playing a 4-4-2, now that I've got 5 playing defenders. So I haven't got my Estev anymore, which actually home to Forest is probably not a bad pickup. So if you've still got Estev, maybe you play him next week. But anything you'd say about that team, that coach team for next week?
I want to punch you in the face. The one thing I would say is that there's a hell of a lot of football to be played between now and next week. So obviously, the Champions League boys, that includes my boys, we will be in action this week. So you got Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Newcastle, all playing Champions League. And pretty much everyone else is playing League Cup action this midweek. So the one thing I would say is that you've got to hold, because all of those assets, apart from Bruno Fernandes, he's getting a rest, and Diouf, he's getting a rest. Everyone else is playing this week.
Bournemouth League Cup time?
Did they go out as well?
Thought they were out of it.
I think they're out
Thought
as
they're
well.
out of it, yeah.
So Senesi and Semenyo are okay as well. But everyone else getting like playing. So you've got to be careful with your transfers this week. Don't go too early because there could be a lot of change in midweek. But yeah, I mean, so the interesting thing for me would be if you've got 2 transfers going into 6, maybe you don't have to wildcard because the Salah Haaland thing becomes really easy.
Maybe, but as we know, you play the wild card and the transfers roll through, don't they?
They do, yeah, they do roll through.
So you're not losing out on anything. So there's my coach team for next week. My brother's in the chat. He says, "Not your best work, Sam."
Shut up, Craig. Look, I've got through a whole stream tonight. I've not gone to be sick. You should just be lucky I'm still here, to be frank.
Here we go.
All this grief.
65 points with Mr. Mickey van der Ven in with 14 points, saving your bacon this game week.
No, stop it. What is with you?
65. Go on then, talk us through it.
So
Go on.
bloody grumpy.
Go on.
The defence did me. I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with you, Daniel. I think you've done a good job.
You're taking the Munoz 5-pointer?
I don't.
Doesn't feel like a blank?
No.
All right.
It feels like Pointsley.
All right.
And that feels quite nice, quite frankly, because I've not had any of them lately. So the frustration for me, I think, came with... So on Saturday morning, I'd kind of decided I was just going to let the 8 Norway thing live and play Ronaldo. I wasn't delighted about that, but that is where I was. And then the news broke that he was probably going to be out for 5 weeks. And I thought, I don't really want to lose the value there. I think I'd rather take a 2-week punt because he's probably going to take a price drop. And so I did the Virgil thing, which on paper seems okay. But actually in reality, because Virgil only outscored Ronaldo by 2, it actually is a -2, that decision. So that's not necessarily... Oh my God,
I told you I was going to roll. But there we go. I told you.
Once more. So the Virgil thing is fine, but probably could have just played Ronaldo, to be honest. Munoz is great. Mickey van der Ven, boy's a legend. Salah cap is fine. The other 3 are frustrating. That is definitely a frustration.
This midfield does, like, Vert's problem, and for a few weeks at least, according to my theory. Dewsbury Hall, who you hate. Kudus, who can't rack up an XG. Gibbs White, who's playing for a team that are just about to get Ange Postecoglou'd. This needs a wild card.
No, it doesn't. Not this week. Oh my God! Please, you are driving.
And then you've
got
got Watkins up front, who's
when we get off this stream, don't speak to me for a bit because I'm really annoyed with you. You're really being a pain in the arse tonight. No, you're being a real pain in the arse tonight. I've got a green arrow, and you can't let me just have one little bit of peace. You've got to niggle at me all the time. So
it's
put
good.
the bus team up, please. Let's talk about that because I like to see my bus graphic again.
Would you like to know the results of the poll?
Yeah.
63% say keep.
Stuff you then.
You guys
That's
are
what we're
ridiculous.
Keeping, because the boys
You guys are
and
ridiculous.
girls agree with me. You're wrong. So there's my bus team.
You guys are ridiculous.
I am gonna
Who's saying keep?
I'm gonna play Gibbs White this week over Keenan flipping Dewsbury Hall, who I can't wait to get rid of on wildcard the week after. And I think Gibbs White is okay for this week. I am probably going to play Dubravka, I think. But then I'm playing Dubravka against...
You've got Dubravka in goal and on the bench. It's quite impressive.
I've just not changed the name. I've changed the player. I think I'm going to play Dubravka instead of Sells, I think. But then I'm playing Dubravka against Gibbs White, which I don't love. But then I guess one of them probably gets some points. The back 3 I'm very happy with. I think they look good for this week. Kudus I'm happy to keep. I don't think that he deserves the,
back 3 looks great.
Disrespect that you've given him. Wirtz is the problem, and Watkins. Mateta stays for the fixture. João Pedro,
yeah, definitely.
João Pedro obviously are going to stay. Wirtz to Semenyo probably feels like where I'm going. That probably feels like where I'm going.
No Haaland, no Grealish.
No.
Don't fancy these players that have been you've called essential over the course of the stream. They're wild card.
Did I ever say Grealish was essential?
You definitely said both of them are essential.
Oh,
are they
just...
wild card fixes then? Going to get them on wild card?
I've said multiple times in this stream that I don't like Haaland for the game against Arsenal because I don't know how to call it. So I'm going to wait one more week, and on wild card, Haaland is essential. That's what I've said in this stream. Grealish I don't think is essential, but I think Grealish is a far better pick than Keenan Dewsbury Hall. But Keenan Dewsbury Hall is a problem that I would deal with on wildcard because he can sit on my bench in 5.
So Wirtz to Semenyo is what you're thinking for next
I think
week?
probably, yeah. It feels really, really, really dull and
doesn't.
boring.
Doesn't at all. Semenyo, he's great. You want to get on him as soon as possible.
If Ismail Assar is back, I may punt on him for a week instead of Semenyo.
Okay.
Because I just feel like Crystal Palace might absolutely sink West Ham.
All right. Okay, so there it is. That is our teams. A green arrow for you, a red for me, small red, but nevertheless a red. And yeah, I think the difference was your man, Mickey van der Ven, over my Porro. So
I'm going to go
is.
and see him in person on Tuesday night, Lee.
You're going Champions League, are you?
Yeah.
Nice. Who are you playing? Who's Spurs got?
Villarreal.
Villarreal, nice game.
Taking Max to his first Champions League game.
Yeah, this is the first time he's been to a Champions League game, isn't it? So it'll be interesting.
He's been under the lights once before. We lost to Forest.
All
right. But hopefully this will be his first Champions League game. Hopefully they give us some flags, or we might do a tifo or something. That'd be nice.
I think there is going to be. I'm sure I saw a social media post saying there's going to be some flags and that you should all be waving around like lunatics on the kickoff to build the.
We're going to go early because I want to get me Xavi's shirt.
All right. We shall end, Sam, on just giving a quick captaincy thought for Game Week 5. FPL Victoria's Secret in with a super chat saying captaincy for Game Week 5. What are you thinking? Who did you have yours on?
Salah, I think.
Hang
on, let me look.
You didn't put it on the graphic actually, but if you look on your phone, who did you have?
Oh, did I not?
No.
It's another fail for the graphic. Yeah, I've currently got it on Salah. I don't love that. Do you know why? Because you're the early kickoff. Hate the early kickoff.
I think it's definitely a week you can go against it, but it's just where you go.
But the question is, where would I go? Mateta? Do I trust him? Maybe. João Pedro? Probably, given all the things I've said about Man United. Maybe Semenyo.
There'll be a lot of Palmers. There'll be a lot of Palmer captains, people bringing him back in. I think so. Anyway, there it is. Lots still to discuss. Lots of football to go this week, as you rightly say, Champions League and League Cup. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Well done in Game Week 4 if you got anywhere near the 60s or 70s or even 80s. In fact, at the beginning of the stream, we were talking about 110 odd points, weren't we, on wildcards and stuff. So definitely a good week to have wildcarded. I think definitely an all right week to have free hit as well. So if you did play a chip this week and you did well, congrats. No major feeling on us to wildcard yet, but definitely Game Week 6. I think we're both looking at that. Probably.
We've got a busy week of content as well this week. So I
think then. What's going on this week?
That's another reason not to do. Well, I also think it's just difficult with the Arsenal Man City game. Lots going on this week. You'll be on Off the Bench tomorrow with Az.
Yes, looking forward to it.
I don't know if Az has had a good week or not, actually, but
I think he's had the same as me, more or less. We've got the same-ish points, so he's done all right.
Okay, so Lee and Az are on Off the Bench this week. You catch me on the official pod as normal. I'll be back on the Q&A with Az again on Thursday. God, we're spending a lot of time with Az this week, aren't we?
That's never a bad thing.
It's never a bad thing. It's always a good thing. And then we will both be together on Sky on Saturday morning.
Lovely.
For the first time in a little bit. So we'll be doing that. So it's going to be quite a hectic week of content. Oh, and if you are a Scout member, I'll be doing a Scout members video with Tom on Friday. So that'll be out before the deadline as well. So yeah, busy week.
Very nice. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you throughout the week. And then we'll be back as usual here at 9 p.m. for another FPL Family. Looking back. With the coach graphic back, talking all things Game Week 5. Until then, guys, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.
Bye, guys.